Good evening, General. Oh, wait. You're just a civilian now.
Mr. James Ford. General Ryle is requesting your inimitable counsel.
No.
He's offered to reinstate you.
From the top.
4 hours ago, the crew of the Vander made first contact.
Stay there.
They believe we're hostile.
In the event of first contact, humanity must strike first to ensure the continued survival of our species.
Operation Cosmic Sin is now a go.
That there is a space gate. They can bring their army here.
What's the status of the Q-bomb?
If we want to launch the Q-bomb, we need to get into orbit.
Suits up.
That's something, huh? We didn't know whether to burn it or put it in a museum.
I'm sure they said the same thing about me.
If we leave that door open, they're going to charge in. We can make this the kill box.
We're not going to wait for them to bring the fight to us. We're going to take it to them.
What we do here is easy. The hard part is living with it.
Go, Gogs.
Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is the first week of everyone's favorite season on Movie the Podcast, at WWEaster.
It is everyone's favorite
And we've
season.
got special guest Kobe in the house.
What's that?
We have no Sean.
Is
We've
it,
got all of
anybody's,
Alex.
is it anybody's favorite season, really?
It has to be. It's
I
our
feel
only
like the worst
consistent
movies
season.
we watch every year are in WWEaster.
How come no one's ever said he is risen when the Undertaker got back up? That's what.
They should have. Yeah, really, that's a slam dunk right
That's
there.
an easy one. That's like
Yeah.
come on, that's 2 points every time.
That's pretty good.
All right, so here we are.
Yeah.
We're here with we got Kobe, San Sean, all of Alec, most of TJ, and I'm here, and we watched a movie whose name could not be more appropriate. Cosmic Sin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a total sin. It was a sin against cinema.
It was a cinematic sin.
I don't often feel bad about the movies that I pick.
Yeah, you know what?
Like,
You should feel bad.
You picked this? Yeah.
Well, you didn't know.
You guys.
You didn't know
you
it was
pick garbage.
Yeah,
I
but you
mean,
didn't know this was.
I can relate,
But
dude. I picked
holy
jujitsu, but this
Yeah, we
was
all
worse.
picked bad stuff.
Jiu-Jitsu is Citizen Kane compared to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. This movie is This movie, as TJ and I were watching, we got to watch it together, and we were discussing it. Not to bury the lead, but this might be the new low water mark, if that's a thing.
Yeah,
like,
I
this
think
might be the worst thing we've ever watched.
I will get into it as we progress, but this movie precipitated a real bad movie weekend for me, and I just put me in like a funk where I'm like, I don't want to watch movies anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it was really bad. Like, we'll get into what we watched this week, but I really hated the other movie I watched this week, but I think it's because this movie put me in such a bad mood.
Normally, and lately, when TJ and I or whoever, when Alec and TJ get together, we get together, and it's nice to be together with each other, and we usually watch a movie, and then we're all charged up. Like, be in Alex's backyard, we're like, let's watch another movie. Like, let's keep the good times rolling. After this one, we're just like, go the fuck home.
In general, when Gogs and I hang out over the last couple of months or whatever on a Friday, we usually do a double feature. And not this time. We were like, we watched a couple of YouTube videos. We're like, I'm done. This
was bad.
This is worse than the one that I passed on because I was falling asleep to before.
Ready to Rumble is a blast.
Oh no, that's high art.
Ready to Rumble, I was with you guys, but then there was another one that I watched with you guys, and I just was like, I have to go.
I can't remember which one that was. Do you remember which one that was?
I cannot.
It was right near.
It was right there. It was the same pocket. Yeah, same pocket.
It was that same WWE.
Yeah, this was really bad. It's so bad it actually put my 1-month-old to sleep for a fucking change.
Congratulations on the new baby.
Yeah,
now you're gonna have Cosmic Sin playing all the time, so the baby goes to sleep.
I was just suggesting that. Like seriously, she went down the moment that movie started, and me and
dude, do you want your baby to be intelligent when it grows up? Like,
no, we're looking at each other like, this is.
You don't want to give your kid pudding brains. Like, don't like.
Cosmic Sin is definitely child abuse in some states.
Yeah, it's like post fetal alcohol syndrome. Like, don't give that kid that movie.
Yeah, this is definitely a hodgepodge of space trash.
It's the worst. So bad. It's the absolute. Okay. What we watch?
What'd you all watch this week? Special guest Kobe. What did you watch?
Kobe,
anything?
I did. I finished up the Woody Allen 4-part series, Allen versus Mia Farrow, or Woody Allen versus Mia Farrow.
What is that? I don't know anything about that.
It's Woody Allen is a scumbag.
Well, I know that.
It's like a 4-part series on HBO, I believe, or HBO Max, and it's Woody Allen and Mia Farrow, and it's a lot of like the footage of Mia Farrow's done like home video stuff, and it's about the case before him and the who's the Asian girl that he ended up marrying?
Sun Yi.
Yeah, so. Allegedly, he molested his daughter that was also adopted before then, who was like 6 years old. And it's very disturbing, especially for like having a daughter recently. I mean, and you just see the video footage and like the home documentary stuff, and it's very like proving that he's a scumbag. And like I didn't know all the stuff that they went through for this, and it was hard to watch. But a 4-part series, finished that up. And
who made it? Was it
Woody Allen?
I hope to God not. No, he not. But apparently,
look at this. I can't do Woody Allen.
He blacklisted Mia Farrow, like after their alleged like court case in 1992, where she tried to charge him for the molestation of this and everything. Man, it's pretty telling, because then a lot of like female actresses afterwards came out and were telling like how pervy he was on set with them, and like
But then you still have a bunch to like defend him now.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
semi-related. There's one person that I'm like Facebook friends with whom I think their whole Facebook like profile is like a fake or whatever. Like, this is a person I found in some film group, and then they followed me. But I assume it's a woman. It's a woman's name. But anyway, like her one like hill to die on is to always post about Woody Allen and how he's not like a criminal. It's like so weird. And like it's like every couple of months there'll be a poster. It's like everyone loves David Bowie, but like nobody likes Woody Allen. It's like what?
But they did a really like telling part at the like 3rd episode or 4th episode. Like, sorry to spoil it here, but they go through every movie that he has done, and it's essentially an older man pursuing a younger woman or coercing a younger woman to like have sex with him. So like it's his whole like aura. It's really
he's a more successful version of the guy that directed and wrote Hell Ride.
Right.
That's a reference that only Gogs and I understand.
That movie was the most masturbatory movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Anything else, Cody?
Finished that. The 2 movies that I watched was Last Blockbuster, which was really nostalgic. That was pretty good.
I turned the corner on that mid-show.
I think everyone has seen that now, except for me.
Yeah, it is what it is. It brings you back. You talk about the movies that were popular during Blockbuster era, and it's funny how that. They did have that Netflix thing going before Netflix, where you could order, you could actually drop the movie off, you could pick it up at a store or something, it was kind of easier. But and then the last one I did was Songbird, which was Netflix like original or something about a quarantine movie. So it's based in 2024. It's the 4th year of quarantine from COVID, but it's turned into COVID 23, and it's essentially.
Wait, is this the Michael Bay movie?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know this came out. I heard about it. I didn't know.
It is terrible.
How bad is it compared to Cosmic Sin?
They are on the same plane, and I watched them within a couple days, so you can imagine how depressed I am.
Which one did you watch first?
Songbird, and then we did Cosmic Sin, and
so
now
you watched Cosmic Sin after Songbird, and you were still like.
No, we are really pissed off right now. I hate you guys.
We didn't tell you to watch Songbird.
Well, Cosmic Sin just added to it. Yeah. Songbird was like, if you want to see some shit, watch that.
It's on Netflix.
Yes, it is terrible. You can tell it's shot like individually during this quarantine time, but it's basically essentially the depths a man will go to get pussy. That's all.
But that pussy belongs to Alexandra Daddario. If I'm.
Oh, I would do a lot of things. Yeah. I would do.
I mean, fathoms, sir. Fathoms.
Yeah. I mean, that woman is like close to perfection, if not. I mean, she is very attractive.
Right.
Yeah. If you want to see something on the comparison of this, definitely watch that.
Was there anyone from the WWE's current roster in the film? Slide it right in.
I know.
Shame.
I wish.
Shame.
It's a shame. We would pick that for next week.
And that's it. And then I passed the mic to Gogs.
I watched one film. The Cosmic Sin kind of sucked my love of movies out of me as well.
It really did. It really did.
So, but I signed up for HBO Max the other day, and I picked up I watched that Class Action Park documentary about Action Park in New Jersey. And it was really, I liked it. It was pretty good. It's about. Have you seen that, Alec? TJ, have you watched that?
No.
I know what you're talking about. I have not seen it.
It's like an 80s theme park or something.
There was a movie. A real movie with Johnny Knoxville.
With Jesse Eisenberg, right?
No, it was with. You're thinking of the one with. You're thinking of the Jackass movie where they did all the stunts. They made a movie that's about Adventure Park, and then all the stunts in the movie were done like Jackass style, and no one saw it.
The Jesse Eisenberg one is Adventureland. That came out like 10 years ago.
I thought but that's not about this, is it?
That just has an amusement park in it.
No, Action Park is about that park in New Jersey where like everybody died. Like people died.
Five people died.
only 5 people.
The parks did open from 1987 to 1996, and 5 people died.
Damn.
That rocks.
It was like the guy.
That fucking rocks.
The guy who ran it was like a complete scumbag. He had like scumbag, like penny stock, like pump and dump money to like fund it. Like he tried to buy the town. He decided like he was just going to not pay the town any taxes, and that strong arm then just selling part of the town and the state part of like a state park to him so he could do whatever he wanted. Like no one who designed the rides, they were all designed on like it's like if I got drunk with a whiteboard, like, well, what if we, just put a trampoline on every wall and put him in a slingshot? Like they just did whatever. Like they got the go-karts like up to 60 miles an hour on the highway that runs through the place. Like I'm saying, like there's an interesting story in it because it's like it's a tale. So much like the last Blockbuster, right? It's kind of nostalgic. For like, because the kids who like all the people are talking about are kids they grew up the same. They're all our generation, right? They're all like in their late 30s.
I thought it was like older than us, isn't it? Like
no, it opened in 78. So like the people that were experiencing it were like they're like in their like late 30s to mid 40s, right?
Right.
But they all like they talk about it with some sort of weird reverence, but in the same way we talk about stories like when we're kids about how we almost died all those times. Yeah, and we thought that was fun, and we realized that was stupid.
Yeah.
And then there's a really this is all kind of interesting, but then it's interwoven with this incredibly tragic story about this one kid who did die and like interviewing his parents.
Oh,
and like it's I mean I recommend checking it out. It's interesting.
What's it on?
It's on HBO Max. It's an HBO Max, I think, original. I think they're producing it. So they've got it puts an interesting button on the whole thing of like nostalgia, but like how like the times we grew up in, like nobody was like helicopter parents. Like you could just go, and that was the truth for me. And like my parents were still strict by most standards, but I could just go fuck off for like an entire day. And there was no cell phones, there was no beepers, and I would they just counted on the fact that I was going to come home at like 9 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then like nowadays, like, and I wonder if it's nowadays because we're so hyper aware of like how everyone's a scumbag. Like, well, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be excited about my kids doing that.
I mean, I think the fact that we have the technology to be like, not, you know what I mean. The fact that we can monitor our kids all the time, we're gonna, because we have the tools to do it.
Right?
You know, you couldn't back then. So it's just like, whatever, they'll be fine.
I mean, my mom used to get sent to go get cigarettes by herself at like 8 years old. For her mom. It's like that's the generation before then.
Well, yeah, it was like this weird. Yeah. It was like this weird like sense of nostalgia and like we survived it, but like kind of like reflecting on how not negligence, but like we get into some shit and it shaped us. But like, did it shape us in the right way? It's really cool. I check it out.
I'll definitely check it out.
But like some of the stories about some of the shit that would go on there was just bonkers. Which is absolutely nuts. Like the fucking guy who ran the place, he had this idea. He had this idea to like so he this place was a ski resort and it wouldn't make any money in the summer. So he's like, fuck it, I'll make it during the summer it'll be this adventure park and I'll just everyone slide down the mountain on concrete.
What could go wrong?
And like there was like to get to the top of the mountain, there's like a fucking ski lift, right? And he was like, I want to make sure people don't fuck with us on this. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get a fake cattle prod. And if like what I want to do is if somebody, I'm one of my employees act like they got on the ski lift without a ticket, and then I'm going to cattle prod them in front of everyone, and then we're going to carry them off so everybody knows that we're not fucking around here. And like people were just losing their goddamn minds. It was like, it was nuts. So check out Class Action Park, but that's all I watched.
All right,
Alec.
I didn't watch anything except for Winter Soldier and Falcon.
I haven't watched that this week.
Oh man, it's really this episode. I think this is the best episode yet.
I know Baron Zemo's in it, so it's
how many episodes are there?
This is the third one.
Oh, no,
this is episode 3. He is so good, and like he's actually like he's obviously like this isn't really a spoiler. Like if you've seen trailers or anything, he's in the show.
He gets the mask, right?
He gets the mask.
Yeah.
But he gets out of prison, and they're like, all right, now we need to go do this, because they're like making him help them.
Yeah.
And they're like trying to come up with a plan for like how to get there. And he's like, guys, I'm like super rich. He has like a private jet and like serpents and stuff.
That's awesome.
It's fucking great. He is so goddamn good in this show. Like he has way more depth in this. He's like funny and he's a smart ass, but then also he gets to be like a badass too, and the mask looks awesome.
Is it still Brule? What's his name?
Yeah,
it's
still Daniel Brule. And they go to Madripoor.
Oh no shit. Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, oh my god.
That rules.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta watch.
I haven't watched anything else. I've been watching a bunch of just random shows that I've seen before. I really just didn't have any time for movies this week. TJ?
I only watched. I pulled a Gogs and I only watched like 65% of something.
But did you watch it in an LG refrigerator?
No, I watched it on my regular TV, but I hated it so much that I just turned it off. It's been I've explained on the show that I think I've reached a point in my life where if I don't like a movie, I don't force myself to finish it. Like, I've gotten to a point where if I feel like I'm watching a movie and I'm just like, unless it's for the show, I will finish a shitty movie for the show. But like, if I'm watching something for my leisure time, I will turn it off. There's no need to waste my time watching a fucking movie I hate. So anyway, I watched Kong vs. Godzilla. I think it's Godzilla versus Kong.
Monkey versus Lizard. It's
dog shit. It's everything that I hated about the other two Godzilla movies and nothing I liked from Skull Island. It's total shit. It's equal parts fucking stupid, but like takes itself way too seriously. Like, I hated it. And then like I see people online, like the general sense is that people really like this movie, and they're like, well, the fighting is good, and it's just like, yeah, but if I can't get to the fighting, like if I don't give a fuck about what's going on, then the fight's not good. You know what I mean? Like, I have to, if I gotta sit through an hour and a half of Millie Bobby Brown walking around doing fuck all, then why am I watching this fucking movie? Like, it's ridiculous too. Like, and it introduces so many dumb things, but it's never like, hey, this is like fun and silly. Everything's like way too serious. Like, there's like a hollow earth, and they go to the center of the hollow earth, and it's like a sunny day outside, and like, I don't know, I fucking hated it. I hated it so much. Like I said, I turned it off. I got to one Godzilla King Kong fight, and it was stupid. And
you didn't get to the rubber match.
No, I didn't get to the end where they fight Mechagodzilla in Hong Kong or whatever. But like, it was all the same shit that I saw in the other two Godzilla movies. It focuses way too much on subplots that no one could ever give a fuck about. And it's like I don't know. I couldn't take it. I turned it off. It's awful. Like, I see a lot of people enjoying this movie, and more power to you. I mean, it's a movie for retards. Have fun being a fucking retard.
Question for you, TJ. You've seen the older Godzillas, right?
I have seen every Godzilla movie to date. Yes.
Are they based off of any like background characters, context, like
super
some of the?
Fan. Look, hold
there
on,
you go. Yeah. Little Godzilla toy. Were they like based off of any like characters, like how the American films have been?
No, do you mean like in the Japanese?
Have a background story of like somebody in the movie that's like running away from Godzilla.
No, the Japanese movies are like very, very cut and dry.
Yeah.
And like they don't really give, like, obviously there are human plots in a lot of the Godzilla movies, but like they're very minor.
Yeah.
And they don't really matter. A lot of times there's about aliens, like in the late the late 90s, early 2000s Toho movies. They focused a lot on aliens, like Destroya was like one of the big Godzilla monsters who was basically Space Godzilla.
Right.
And like a lot of times the humanoid protagonists were aliens, so it just didn't matter. Like they were like a Rita Repulsa kind of villain from Power Rangers. Like, again, like you can make a human drama around Godzilla. Shin Godzilla is a human
they did that in Shin. Yeah, it's great.
Shin Godzilla is a movie about fucking bureaucracy, and it's fantastic.
Okay.
But like what they do in this movie, it's not that. It's just I don't care about the people. I don't care about the monsters. I don't care about the plot. I don't care about anything.
I saw the one with Bryan Cranston, and that's what threw me off. I was like, I'm not going to watch another one or invest any time in that.
Oh, and you made the right decision, because they've all been they've actually gotten worse since that movie. That one's the best one, and that is fucked up. Like, if you don't
how does Skull Island work? Because I like Skull Island.
Because Skull Island is fun. Skull Island is a simple premise, simple characters, and action. That's it. There's not like 600 side plots. There's not there's not in Skull Island, there's not like a moment where you go away from the army guys and it's like somebody else's plot for 45 minutes. Like, it's all just them, and they just go, and it's fun. Like these other movies, I'm telling you, they branch off. Like this Godzilla vs. King Kong movie is like 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Why is this movie that fucking long? 90 minutes. Make it 90 minutes. Make them fight. Give me some vague reason why they need to fight. Then they can fight Mechagodzilla, who looks like shit, by the way. And that's it. That's your movie. Like,
well, based off recent memes, I think it's because they're so horny for each other that they need to fight.
Well, I appreciate all those memes, but I hated it, and I think like I don't know. Maybe I'm just a fucking curmudgeon. Maybe I've got to a point now where like I don't know, this kind of stuff. I love Godzilla. I'm a huge Godzilla.
It seems to be universally hated. I don't think
No. Not this one. This one people like. The general consensus is this is the good one now. People like this movie. I don't.
Well, now they've got HBO Max. I'm gonna give it a look.
Yeah,
the movies aren't made for you anymore. Now the demographic is 18 to 34. You've aged out.
I guess so, yeah. I guess you're right. Yeah.
They're not aiming for your money because
you don't have
your money's no good now.
Your money's no good here.
Well, you're gonna see it, but you're not gonna buy other shit for it too.
Yeah.
Other people that are younger that have more disposable income, they're gonna see it.
What are they gonna buy?
Pop Funkos.
True.
Yeah. Touche.
More disposable.
I don't know, Alec. I think if anyone's gonna buy it, it's old 40-year-old nerds is gonna buy all the Pop Funkos.
Maybe.
Yes. I love them.
Why are you pointing at Kobe?
I was pointing at the one below him. But anyway, that's all I watched. I fucking hated it. And again, I just want it to be known that I want to like this movie. I like Skull Island. Like, I enjoyed that a lot. I watched that like 3 times because we watched it once on the show. I enjoyed that movie a lot. I didn't like
Skull Island was fun.
I didn't like any of the Godzilla movies. I think last year I said that, or whenever it came out 2 years ago, I think King of the Monsters was one of my worst movies of the year.
King of the Monsters was so bad.
I think in our end of the year show, I think I put King of the Monsters like in either an honorable mention or it was my worst film of that year.
King of the Monsters.
I fucking hated it. Anyway, all right, let's get into our feature presentation.
Why?
I don't know.
I'm just scrolling through IMDb reviews. And just the IMDb reviews.
Yeah.
And some of them are just great. For this movie, for Cosmic Sin.
Go ahead.
I was reading them earlier. They're pretty good.
There's one that just says baffling.
But what happened in this movie, Gox?
Why am I okay? So
I gotta hear this.
I'll try. So
that's all you can do.
America.
I think you could have the screenplay in front of you, and you wouldn't be able to explain what happened in this.
Real quick.
Go ahead, Alec.
This movie has a 2.5 on IMDb.
Yeah, when I started watching it, it said 7% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, it's down to 4 now.
Oh God.
So pause. So one of the spurious websites that I acquire films from, they have an aggregate of a score, a five-star score. This is the only movie I've ever seen on there that had lower than a 2. I've never seen anything with a 1 or lower. Ever. Like, everything has at least like a 3 or higher. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this movie? And then I watched it.
And this is like brand new, right?
It's just came out.
Yeah, it's been out for like 2 weeks.
Also,
it's newer than your child.
Also, its worldwide box office right now is like $248,000.
Yeah, and Bruce Willis.
14,000 of that is from New Zealand, and the rest of it's Australia.
Bruce Willis apparently got paid $2 million for a 1-day shoot of this.
I thought his per diem was 5. I guess it went down because of COVID.
It says on the info that I got, it was like $2 million for 1 day of shooting. And you can tell.
When Alec mentioned this movie, I had seen an ad for another space movie that Bruce Willis was in, and I thought he was talking about that, and it was called Breach. So
there's like 3 of them.
So when Gogs and I were watching the movie, he's like, who the fuck made this? And I looked it up, and the guy that wrote this movie also wrote Breach. So they must have shot this shit in like the same weekend.
God.
Like Bruce Willis is like, give me my $4 million check, please.
For 2 movies and like 2 days of shooting.
He got him there, yeah.
It had to be, right?
Holy crap. There's another like one that was related where Frank Grills actually directed and like starred in.
Frank Grillo?
Yeah.
Frank Grills.
Is that Breach?
Oh, Frank Grillo. Sorry.
That might be
I think it was like Breach. And then there's a new one that just came out, and it's got
God.
Well, what's his name from Braveheart?
Mel Gibson?
No, that one's good. No, that one's good. That we watched that.
We watched that. That's boss level. That's actually really good.
Okay, they were all like related. It was all
highly recommend that.
Frank Grillo is a hard-working man. God bless him. I was going to give this out in front. Frank Grillo is the only person in this entire movie that's trying.
He is
at all.
Yeah.
at all. Like,
all right.
Granted, he's flying in space for half of it.
Give me the plot so we can get through all this, and then we can talk about it.
So stuff happened, right?
How many years?
I'll get to it. I'm gonna get to it. So some shit's been happening for half a millennia, and there's a fucking civil war or something, and Bruce Willis at some point decides that he needs to put an end to the Civil War, so he's going to use a Q-bomb, and we later find out that a Q-bomb creates a black hole, so dude's already got one black hole under his belt. So now, two people from maybe a mining ship are on some unknown planet. I don't know whether they named it or not. It was like Epoch or Enoch or Echo or some bullshit. And they're going to fuck. And they don't know how to talk good no more. And so the lady's like, she's looking at her iPhone that's strapped to her wrist, and she's like, there's something out there. And dude's like, I'll prove there isn't. And he just starts shooting everything. Or just starts shooting darkness. And then maybe a robot shows up or something. There's a noise. She's like, oh my God, it's been first contact. So presumably, 500 years have passed. We have mastered some degree of interstellar travel. We've developed.
Pause real quick. Wait, the 500 years are between that scene and the rest of the movie?
No. This is all in real time. This is in media res.
Okay.
And I'll get to that too.
Pause.
Stop! No! God damn it!
I paused. I used my powers.
No.
This part of the movie, the time that this movie takes place, is something Gogs and I just could not get past.
So, here's what happens. This woman is screaming into her wrist that we finally made first contact. They've been doing this for 500 fucking years, and we never found anyone else. Okay, fine. She pulls out her space Glock, which looks just like my gun 500 years in the past. Can you imagine? So here's the deal. Me and TJ were talking about this. In our lifetime alone, we have seen people going from typing letters to sending text messages and doing shit like this, electronic communication. And that has been in a mere 40 years. We have seen just technology just on this just exponential curve. And then
don't they say like it doubles like every 2 years or something like that?
Maybe, but then I don't know what happened. But somehow we hit a dumbing, and over 500 years of evolution. Now, I'm not the biggest I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
How far into the future does Star Trek happen? 200 years?
Depending on which one, somewhere there and abouts. Yeah.
Okay, so those dudes are all wearing space pajamas with phasers. These people are still in Levi's, carrying around regular-ass guns, using and protecting their fancy space bases with intergalactic portals and black hole-making machines with chain-link fences. Like, what happened? How dumb did we get? But let's move on. So now...
And Frank Grillo drives a Toyota Tacoma.
Frank Grillo is on a highway driving a regular ass. He's got a comfortably equipped 2018 Toyota Tacoma. Like that is
it's the best-selling truck of all time.
It really is.
Still
500 years. You know what? Toyota's like 500 years. That'd be like us driving around a fucking mammoth right now. It doesn't make sense. So fine. So now we're here. These guys are trying to fuck in a tent for whatever reason.
Oh yeah,
we have negative contact. Now, what has now happened is they get this signal from wherever, and it goes to Sword or whoever. And Frank Grillo is having an argument with his wife about who's getting potatoes or why didn't he buy cigarettes. And he gets interrupted, and he's like, "Oh shit! Someone called the blood general." So now he fucking pulls a J-turn on a highway which shouldn't exist in 500 years, and they go find Bruce Willis in a bar where he's going to fight some kids who don't like the fact that he was the blood general, and then a guy who is not Oliver Platt backs him up because I guess Oliver Platt was busy this weekend. So some fights happen.
Oliver Platt.
That was all the first 20 minutes, right?
Himself. That was the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. So then a guy who's not Clancy Brown shows up with a bunch of like black ops dudes to get the Blood General out of the bar where everyone's using their regular guns from 500 years ago. It's like if we were using muskets today. Anyway, so now they're going to take
the guy who's not Clancy Brown. You want to know his real name?
What is it?
Costas Mandalore.
That's a better name. I think his name in the movie was like Jim Smith. He should have just gone with Costas Mandalore because that sounds like a name for 500 years in the future.
Costas Mandalore.
So now they take the Blood General back to their fucking like Quonset hut shed where they're like, hey guys, we made first contact. We don't know if it's positive or negative. Ari's wife from Entourage is there, and you find out that they used to fuck, but she wrote a paper when she was a child about how we gotta nuke them first. The whole time Frank Grillo is getting like he's like getting in his nephew or son or cousin or some shit. It's just like this soldiery dude who's there.
It's his son.
He was introduced at like he's just shooting at a guy, and then all of a sudden Frank Grillo shows up, and then they're like, I'm coming along. And you're like, what?
He said I wouldn't bring family, wink.
Yeah.
You know who that kid is?
No.
Yeah.
That's Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee's son.
Gross.
Oh, the sperm that didn't get on the tip of the boat.
The one that didn't. Yeah. The one that made it. That one didn't just impact on the surface.
Are you serious? That's Tommy Lee's son? Weird. Wow.
That's what I read.
I guess talent isn't sexually transmitted. So now,
Tommy Lee's a great actor.
Well, I saw one of his movies. So now now we're getting to a part of the movie. If the fact that we are 500 years in the future and blah, 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 so now we are literally 7 minutes since first contact. That scene that happens presumably on a planet where they said there's no one else here. It happened 7 minutes ago. 7 real-time minutes ago. And then the ship from 7 minutes ago on another planet, which we later established is 13.3 light years away from Earth, is now parking at the base. I did the math. Unless there's a teleporter, that they had a teleporter that they could like shoot their suits through, but that didn't seem to be how they were moving big ass ships, right? I couldn't because they all seemed very fascinated that the aliens had a big teleporter circle for all of their ships. So I'm presuming that this thing did it quasi conventionally. It would have to go, I think I calculated 213,000 times the speed of light to make it there in 7 minutes. Everyone in there would be goop. Like there's no way. There's no way. So anyway, it's parking, and these motherfuckers shuffle off like it's the goddamn Thriller video, and they just take them to get deloused with a bunch of goddamn powdered sugar, and all of a sudden these idiots start coughing up shit and going full zombie, and then they have them contained in a room, and then fucking Pamela Anderson's kid decides to shoot through the glass, and now these idiots have learned how to use guns, and everybody's like, well, now we got to nuke whatever this is. So then they all put on their space suits, they charge up that red gunk from the first Star Trek movie that destroyed what's his name? Tom
Vulcan.
Yeah, Vulcan, not Vulcan, the other one, the evil Vulcans. Don't tell me it didn't happen. I saw it happen. That planet.
The Romulans.
Destroyed Romulans. Right? So they get some of that goop in like a vial, and they charge it up because they're going to Q-bomb whatever. And then they teleport them all into the middle of a space battle that why was no one reporting the space battle? Like that's like
the space battle shows up and we're like, who is fighting? What is going on?
That's also right out of the first Star Trek movie.
Yeah,
they go to warp speed and they land right in the space battle.
That's right.
Yeah, but like that kind of made sense. Like they're just fucking here, and they're flying through a debris field, and then like people are getting clipped and winged and ding dong and bing banged.
Did you point out? I don't know if you actually illustrated this, but when you say they are flying through, it's them in like space suits. Like they're not.
It is them in the most low budget first attempt cosplay I've ever seen. Vital organs are not protected by whatever this is. Like it's just like
which
they're zipping through.
this scene is also from he must have watched that Star Trek movies.
Well, it's a Saban film. It looks like the Power Rangers.
That's true.
It looks like the Power Rangers flying through.
But because they have a scene in the Star Trek movies where they're flying through space.
You're right.
And those little, he must have watched those. I can do this better.
That was in the second one, right?
Yeah, that was in the darkness, I think.
Yeah.
So now,
and Kobe's right. This was produced by Saban Films, which I think their Power Rangers episode look better than this.
Well, the cover looks like a ripoff of Star Wars. They have DIY stormtrooper outfits. It's all rip off everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they're now hot dropping into a planet which has breathable atmosphere. So presumably there's like our planet, right? You should burn up on re-entry, but I guess these whatever they're dealing with is I'm cool with it. So they just slide on in. Can you imagine how hard? There's no parachutes. Can you imagine how hard they must have hit the fucking ground?
Yeah.
But then Bruce Willis just pops up. He's like,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they're coming from space.
They're coming in at terminal velocity. They're coming in to the point where their mass would have caused trees to get leveled for probably a 3-block radius.
Yeah, they would have made the dinosaurs extinct.
Yeah, if they were made of iron, it would have been an extinction level event. But the 7 of them just come in hot, no big deal.
Hey, pause real quick. What movie did we watch where the plot was to shoot from space rods of iron?
It was the second G.I. Joe movie.
Oh, G.I. Joe. They didn't shoot them. They just let gravity do the work.
Let them go. Just let them drop.
I don't know.
That was awesome.
That movie is
awesome.
Eastern Western Europe is just gone.
Yeah, they just dropped
London. That movie is off the map.
They just took an inanimate carbon rod from The Simpsons and just dropped it, and it obliterated everything. That was so cool. And then you know what? The Triple X movie where they were just making satellites rain down on people, sort of the same plot.
Yeah. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
So now. They're here on the planet, which is just full of deciduous trees and regular ass Seattle shit.
They spent the forest moon of Endor.
Yeah, they spent no time trying to make this not look like Earth.
We're 500 years in the future, and trees have evolved. They've devolved. They're the same. Whatever on whatever planet this is.
We're not even on Earth.
We're not even on Earth, and yet. So now. You've got Lana shows up dressed up like Ghost from fucking StarCraft, and she has an inconceivably large gun
that she carries around.
A large rat to carry as well.
Right? Yeah, she carries. Her acting is so bad in this movie. I almost unsubscribed from her Instagram. Almost.
She has a pretty wonderful Instagram. I have.
But anyway,
it started out like that fake Russian at first, and then all of a sudden,
I looked at Steve and I go, "What is she trying to do? Is she doing a voice?
Her accent? It's like she forgot her accent.
I wish she had, dude. If she'd done if she'd done the Lana accent, she would have gotten a bump. Point, right?
Yeah.
But it's hilarious. So she's got this it looks like a space 50 cal, and then she just holds it with one arm.
It's got a barrel that you could shoot canned goods out of. It's impossible. So now these alien things are both fighting in the atmosphere and they're fighting on the Earth. You've got Lana.
Did they ever explain why they're already there? What? Lana
shows up with a country guy and then a black guy in camo.
She shows up with they took an Alabama redneck from Right Now and they put him on that planet 500 years in the future. So it's this ragtag group of hicks. Lana, who is I'm saying, who has an equally piss poor Baltimore Comic-Con cosplay costume, and then this group of people. And they're dealing with these alien things, right? And these alien things. So here's the deal with these alien things, right? Then somebody even says it our path went. We mastered ballistics. They mastered genes. These guys, they're parasites. They're a hive mind. The way they exist is by getting their blood or juices on you and then turning you into them. Why are they using guns? Why aren't they using super soakers? Why aren't they just bleeding on everyone? Because that would accomplish their mission.
Yeah, well, Gogs and I said that, like, they need to just have, like, aerosol bombs of their blood.
Just a water balloon of their piss. Just here you go.
Yeah, it's like fucking Death Stranding.
So they don't do that. So now they go. So then I give it credit. This is the only time in the movie that anything made a lick of sense. They're like, all right, there's an alien dropship 5 clicks over here. Let's go find it. So fucking Tommy Lee's kid and Lana go to look for it. He's got his fucking like wrist computer thing out, and he's like, okay, these things. I'm like, how are they? They want to figure out the trajectory of where these things came from. I'm like, how the hell are they gonna? They're gonna hack a race they've never seen before into whatever. And he's like, okay, well, it leaves a radiation trail. We'll follow the radiation trail. They follow the radiation trail. That actually makes sense to a big ass portal in the sky where the whole armada is just laying in wait, like it's not bothering to come through. Fine. And the whole time, like, Lana is, like, quasi-wet for Bruce Willis and his murderous past. So, like, all right, we need to transmit the coordinates back to Earth or something. So let's go to the Space Cannon Depot and see what happens. So then everyone marches there. But at some point, Bruce Willis gets lured into a cave where he maybe ghost bangs his ex-wife.
This
maybe
scene is so insane. It makes
it's just like in MacGruber.
It makes no fucking sense.
I'm gonna shoot.
I'm gonna shoot.
Wow.
This scene makes absolutely no sense. Like, aliens lead him into this cave, but then
the aliens, like, they punch him out. The big one knocks him out. So if you were the alien, right, all I would do is I'd just tongue bath you and let you become me, right? But no, I drag you into a cave.
Yeah, but then later on, Tommy Lee's kid shows up and there's no aliens, and he just like pulls him out of the cave.
And he shoots a ghost, maybe.
So
they pulls, and then Bruce Willis. If Bruce Willis was in a daze before, he's in a super daze now.
Oh, I don't know if we've actually said this yet, but Bruce Willis, like, this movie sucks, but Bruce Willis sucks in this movie. He is not trying at all.
You could get a cardboard stand-up of Bruce Willis and would get more range. Like, I think he walked it around.
But he's in the whole movie, which is kind of amazing.
Now, speaking of people who should have been in the whole movie, we finally remember that Frank Grillo is just floating in space. Like, he's just he got hit by hit by a space hubcap and it knocked him out of whatever. And he's just been just kicking it. Like, all right, well, but somebody's got enough thruster power to get over to the space gate door. So he's like, I'm going to go to the space gate door and fuck it or fight it or eat it or something. So he flies that way. And now everyone at the space base is getting ready to fight. And somehow Bruce Willis's ex-wife is now part of the bad guys, and they're having like a unity moment where they're yelling at each other. And once again, they're still using guns for no reason because it doesn't accomplish their objective. And then the nerd they brought along, she charges up the goo and puts it in the space cannon and does a full send. But meanwhile, Bruce Willis managed to, like, skitch onto the back of a spaceship and ride it into space. And I think Frank Grillo was, like, on the space gate. So sure. he has a fight with his ex-wife in space, like, but not in the ship, like on the ship, like in the middle of space.
Yeah.
And she, like, does like a mind freeze on, like, the Q bomb that's gonna come through, but then that breaks up, and then it goes zippity-doo into the dealie, and then they shoot another one that blows up the gate, and now presumably all of the alien armada is 613,000 light years away.
Yeah.
Just hanging out though, like they're not bothering to come through. The doors open. Like, are they waiting for an invite? Are they vampires? Do you need to invite them? Like, what is happening?
This effect is fucking hilarious because it's like it's badly CGI'd spaceships, but like you can tell they just copy and pasted them because like they're just back. It's like the same ones back to back to back. It looks so bad.
It's just like the Uruk-hai Peter Jackson. It's fine. So now that turns into a
Whoa.
Yeah.
How dare you?
That turns into a black hole holocaust.
How dare you compare this to that?
I mean, they're on the same level of quality. I mean, these are just space Uruk-hai. So now we're back at the bar. That's just like a bar I could go to right now, 500 years in the past. Except I don't
7
have
days after the beginning of the movie.
7 days after the beginning. Except I don't have a robot bartender that talks to me through emojis and
500 years in the future.
And that's it. Like, the stuff that Boston Dynamics is making right now is more advanced than that robot that was pouring drinks. Like, I don't know what happened to us as a society, but it's bad shit. Like, I was telling teachers, like, this movie needs to happen. This movie needs to take place tomorrow. This movie's going to happen in 1996. And people were like, we got to figure this out. Like,
well, like, if you're going to, like, I don't know, we watched it on the show, and it's a very low budget movie, but like Turbo Kid takes place in the future.
Yeah.
But it like takes place in the future of 1996. So it's like a whole thing.
So like we were talking about this, like Looper, right? Like Looper was like a future you could imagine. Like, you still had the same cars, but they've been like tricked out with like either some sort of emissions thing or solar panels. You're like, okay, and it's not too far away. No, like, this is like.
Or even, I mean, it's just like, the thing is, it doesn't make any sense, is like everything in this movie I made the joke while we were watching the movie that the guy that wrote and directed this has a hard time with numbers, because he just throws out numbers, right? Like, apropos of nothing, he's like, after the aliens show up, they're like 70 or 24 hours later or something, or
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Yeah.
At some point, they're like, it's been 46 minutes since first contact. It's like,
that's it, 46 minutes. And it's like, why did you feel the need to put that there? Why is the movie take place 500 years in the future when you have everybody with regular guns and cars? Like, just put it 60 years in the future, and then it's not as bad. I mean,
put it 20 years. Put it whatever. I don't care. I don't. It's just like, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like I'm just thinking about like other movies that happen, other space movies that happen in the future, right? Like, hold on. Like, when does in 2047 Event Horizon happened? Okay. That makes sense. And they had better. That's 27. That's 26 years from now, right? And they went for it, man. Like,
I think RoboCop took place in 1997.
Right. I think. Well, the Judgment Day was 1997. Like,
and that came to be. So it
came to be.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, this is 500 years in the future.
Did we get through the movie? Are we done the movie?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
You didn't get to the scene where Tommy Lee's kid, like, for some reason decides to, like, punch out the big robot that looks
at the end. Yeah.
The big alien that looks like a World of Warcraft character.
Yeah, like they have like a fist fight. He grabs a knife, and these things transmit their consciousness through their fluids. Why? And he knows this. Why would you do that?
He just wants to get his licks in for his dad.
He does. Yeah. It's like.
Because
I don't know.
His dad is
man.
the one that was is his dad Frank Grillo, right?
Yeah, I think, or his uncle or something.
Yeah, and he was the one flying in space, and he suggested that they just Armageddon it, kind of sacrifice themselves.
Oh,
right?
like the Leopard song.
Yeah,
but like why?
Armageddon.
But you know these things. You know, if you get some of their juice on you, you're done. It's like if you went to the bunny ranch, you decided to raw dog everything. Like, this is a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Yet he does it. And know how I knew this movie was going to suck shit from the very beginning, despite the Rotten Tomatoes ratings and everything else. Because when the movie started, I looked at TJ, I go, watch me love this movie. Like, watch this movie be great. Like, nope. Here's why I knew this movie sucked. This is a mark. This is a challenge to our listener. If there is a movie,
we got him. He's a guest on the show. So.
All right, so here it is, Kobe.
He's the only person.
Here's the challenge. So, if you can find me a quality film, like something we would give a 9 or higher to, right? That gives you it does all of the credits before the movie starts, including like costumes and casting by. Like, anytime you see that many credits before the movie starts, like, no one's sticking around to the end to see who did this. So they're getting it in now. Yeah. They're gonna they gotta get it out in front.
Good call.
This movie's just it's incomprehensible dog shit.
Yeah, it feels like,
and no titty.
It feels like, Lana never takes her gear off. That ridiculous armor.
They enhanced her breast, but like,
they were bananas.
Yeah, like it's like, this is like something that somebody wrote in the 3rd grade and didn't like finish. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's like a lot of ideas, but like none of them make any sense. Like, I don't know.
Like, even the aliens, we didn't even see.
I'm sorry.
He fell asleep. What did you think of the movie, Alex?
Oh, this movie it's the worst movie I've ever seen.
I was waiting for you to say, it's fine. You can't even do it.
It's like we were sitting here as I watched a half hour of it one day last week, and I couldn't get any more. I couldn't. In that half hour, I skipped like 5 minutes of it because I was just like, I can't take this scene anymore. So I moved forward, and after like a half an hour, I was done, and I finished it today. And it was like just dreading it because I just kept pushing it off more and more. And as I'm finishing it, Stacy was like, "Well, what you think?" And I was like, "It's awful. It's like the worst thing I've ever seen." And she was like, "What about Midsummer?" I was like, "This is worse than Midsummer."
Oh, hey, finally, we got something worse than Midsummer.
Like, at least
worse than Dogtooth.
Come on. Jesus.
Yeah. I guess.
But for different reasons.
At least Dogtooth, even though it's a disgusting, vile, putrid pile of trash, at least it held my attention.
There you go.
It
also made sense.
Like,
it had an A to B.
Yeah, it had a beginning and an end. It didn't make any sense.
Oh, it made perfect.
Like, as far as character motivations and things like that, like, that movie's stupid. But this movie is stupider. This movie's from Jupiter because it is stupider.
So, like, on RogerEbert.com or whatever, the review for this thing, here, this line.
Oh, the opening line is the best.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. To suggest that Bruce Willis is phoning his performance in Cosmic Sin would be an insult to telephone communication, which can be an effective means of conveying important information and genuine emotion. But there's another line that's great. It's like, but then Earth of 2524 doesn't look or feel terribly different from where we occupy today, except for robot bartenders, the obligatory flying cars, and apparently there are no acting lessons in the future, as the performances here are uniformly stiff and unconvincing.
Kobe, aren't you glad you decided to come on the show when we watched this movie?
So glad. I was wondering, I was like, who is in this that is like a WWE star? And then I saw Lana. I was like, oh, can't wait.
Yeah, I remember seeing her post pictures from the set on her Instagram, and it looked like a cheap Gears of War movie, and I was like, oh, boy.
Yeah, that's how I found out about it. I saw it on her Instagram. She's like, I'm so proud of the movie we just wrapped. And after watching it, I'm like, why?
Yeah, why would you be proud of this?
Did you watch it? Probably not.
I would have tried to keep this under wraps. Like, can you imagine?
A better movie like that movie with Dolph Ziggler, was it Countdown 2?
That was better than this.
3?
Yeah, I think
Rusev has a cameo for like a second where
he pulls the gun
in full gear, has a gun and pulls it on Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah,
that's better than this.
That was way better than this. Like, way better. Again, that movie made some kind of sense.
Yeah, this is terrible.
This is worse than Driller Killer. This is like our new low. This is the worst thing we've ever watched.
This is worse than Jiu-Jitsu.
You can even tell, like, certain scenes Bruce Willis didn't even have the time for it. Like, there's that monologue at the end where it's Lana and the three characters on the spaceship, and then it's him. They keep cutting to them, and then they cut to him by himself. I'm pretty sure he shot all that by himself to where he just, like, gave one-liners. He's like, yeah, we can do it.
He's probably at his fucking house. He's probably got, like, a green screen set up his fucking house. He's probably
like... green screen prison.
Yeah.
It's
like, he just makes the same smirk.
It's God's LL Cool J theory for Hit 'em High.
Exactly. No, I'm serious.
He wasn't there for the rest of any of the video. How bad
you
does
watched that
Space
last
Jam trailer
monologue,
look?
Dude, I watched it today. I haven't seen it before. It looks so bad. So half the movie, the cartoon characters are like shitty CGI. Like, who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, it looks so dumb.
It looks like Ready Player One. Like, that's the whole premise, right? Like LeBron James goes to the internet and then has to fight the internet, and all of, like, the internet watches him play basketball now.
Don Cheadle is the internet.
Yeah, Don Cheadle is the internet, and then they got the fucking Clockwork Orange guys, like, and The Mask, and all these people, like, rooting them on, and Hanna-Barbera. It looks fucking terrible.
Weird.
This movie is so bad, folks, that we've started talking about Space Jam,
which will also be terrible.
That's how bad. It's not going to be worse than this. I'll put money on it right now. Space Jam 2 will be better than Cosmic Sin.
I mean, I'm not taking that bet.
No one would take that bet.
No one who's seen Cosmic Sin.
Do we? And I don't recommend anyone watch it. It's not even, and it's not like a so good it's bad kind of watch.
No.
It's just, it just makes you feel bad.
Yeah, it's like because we couldn't even. TJ and I tried as hard as we could to extract any little bit of joy out of this, and it was
no.
It's
bad. It's everything about it is bad. The production is bad. It's not funny. There's no point. Like it's not even bad enough to be funny. It's just
not fun.
No,
it's not funny.
It's not fun or funny. All right. Well, I guess it's 5 knuckle shuffle time.
Why 0? Just everyone say 0. Let's call it a day.
Yeah. Big Boo said 0.
Okay. Is anyone here not giving it a 0?
No.
Gogs.
0.
TJ.
0.
TJ.
0.
Alex.
0.0.
Well, the cinematography was really good. It was focused. I really like the musical.
It was not in focus, actually.
No, it wasn't.
This is 0. Like every time they showed the helmets, you could see the cross lines on the helmets for how they had to line up the CGI faces on
the green screen. Yeah,
like it showed. Like it's so bad.
Their armor looked like they were old egg cartons. Like this movie sucks.
Well, Gogs pointed out too is their armor was just like the shoulder parts and the like sort of the chest. They look like
but it was conduit for like lighting or electrical.
Well, it looked like
their buttocks were exposed.
Well, it looked like the shit you put on when you play laser tag, like those vests. So it didn't cover their body at all. It was not armor in any sense of the word.
It looked like the director went to a dumpster behind Comic-Con and found costumes that a bunch of kids threw away because they got made fun of for them being too shitty.
I got 4 stormtroopers and 2 rebel elites. So
this is my homemade.
There's a Master Chief without the helmet.
Yeah. This is my homemade GoBot costume. Well, you're an idiot. Okay, we'll throw it in the dumpster. Hey, you can be in Cosmic Sin. Like
it's so fucking
That's
bad.
actually how they cast Tommy Lee's son.
Oh.
He was the world's worst He-Man in person.
Like, wait, I thought that was Ass Dan.
Yeah, he's also Ass Dan.
Heroes Ass Dan.
All right. What are we? Anybody got a pick for next
I do.
week? What's your pick, Gogs?
My pick is that Luke Harper movie, unless it's going to make us all too sad.
Oh,
a Luke Harper movie. It's not. Is it a movie?
It's a movie. Yeah.
No, he's in it.
Hold on.
What's it called?
I'm looking it up.
I thought you had a pick. That would indicate you knew the title of the pick.
Shush.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, never mind. Then I'll pick something different. But
What's the title? Look it up now.
Just find
I'm looking it up.
Mohawk.
Mohawk. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ! Don't take your original sin anger out on me.
Yeah, I can't help it. It's out of the box.
It's on Tubi.
It'll also be on the Plex server, so I'll just
You unzip me.
It's called Tomahawk.
Mohawk.
Mohawk. All right, Mohawk next week. I promise you that it will be better than this movie.
4.6 out of 10 on IMDb.
It's got 84 Rotten Tomatoes,
twice as good as
That's twice as good as Cosmic Sin, yeah. Kobe, got anything to promote?
Always the Retromania Podcast Network, Retromania with the W. Old school shit, new school stuff, making fun of it, or glorifying the new stuff we enjoy. But otherwise, that's it.
Kobe famously hates AEW.
I was going to say, listen to his stuff about the old wrestling. Don't listen to his takes on AEW because they're all wrong.
Well, in that case, I guess eat your own ass.
There you go. Hey, this guy gets it.
Yeah. Now, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, anytime.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad watching this one.
Maybe I'll try for Mohawk again. So
come back, bro. Yeah, it's also on Prime apparently. So it's regular. Right, cool. It's readily available. Cool. It's wildly released.
All right, and if you're not listening to this on YouTube, check out, hopefully the website will be back up soon and we'll be back on all the normal podcast aggregates, but it's a work in progress. If not, please like and subscribe because I will continue to post these shows on the YouTube channel, which people are listening to, which is nice. So I listen to a lot of stuff on YouTube. I just put it on in the car and turn it off and hit my phone. Good. So
the only thing I don't like about the YouTube, if I don't finish it,
yeah, it doesn't.
You got to like find the spot again because I started listening to our episode from a few weeks ago, and then when I got back in my car, I was like, "Oh fuck it, I'm not finishing it. I'm not going to find it again."
Yeah.
Well, if you have it on a playlist, if you add it on a playlist on your like YouTube account, if you like have a YouTube account, you have it on a playlist. It should save the timestamp.
Yeah, it should. Yeah.
Really? Well, maybe I'll try that.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
I don't use YouTube like at all.
Oh, that's all I use.
My father uses
13-year-old girl.
I watch there's one channel that I watch periodically. I can't remember the name of it now.
What's that?
These two young black kids. They're like in their mid-teens, and they listen to like 80s
Bill
and
Burr
90s music for the first time. And like,
yeah, those are
really
good.
They're so funny.
Yeah,
and they love everything. Like
that's good.
They go nuts for everything.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Yeah, I like that one.
I can't remember the name of it.
All right.
But eat your own ass.
Like Kobe said, eat your own ass. And we'll see you next week with Mohawk.
Lube up Kevin Spacey.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.
Night, Kobe. Take care,
dude. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks,